What's up, guys? We're back. We have the long-awaited issued kit video that has been asked for many times in the comment section. So here I have Knight with us here. He's one of the members of Azov's International Battalion, and he is very good with his kit, and he's going to help explain some of the stuff for us that I don't know the specifics on.
So a lot of the questions we get asked is about the issued plate carrier, the issued equipment, and what you should bring over. Now, from a country like the US, where a lot of the kit has been designed for a different threat environment, it's not always going to be the most applicable over here. So we can show you what we're issued, which is this heavy-duty ballistic vest. As you can see, it's all-around protection, and it's covering the entirety of your body. Downside, of course, is the weight of this. It can be extremely high. It may not seem it from a short period of time, but as you wear this over a long period of time, the weight does add up, and obviously the heat as well.
We have some people that love this ballistic plate setup, and some people that hate it, right? For some people it's too bulky, you can't shoulder your rifle properly, they think it hinders their movement, and they want to be fucking John Wick, super fast, speedy Gonzalez, right? But this, in my opinion, with this conflict, the more coverage, the better. We've talked about it 1,000 times on the channel. It's shrapnel everywhere. About, last I saw was like 2% of all wounds are actual gunshot wounds. The rest is shrapnel. It's, or the large percentage is shrapnel. So more coverage with body armor, or with actual soft armor like this. You want to explain that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what fits inside the ballistic vest that we issue at Azov. Unlike a standard plate carrier, you've got this additional protection which interlocks with your other elements, with your side armor into your ballistic shoulders and the deltoid protectors as well. And this is rated to V50 static, so 600 meters a second shrapnel protection, which isn't specific to bulletproof ratings as a whole. This is specific for shrapnel and that level of protection. So the idea is that this is giving you the maximum possible coverage for what is 97% of casualties being shrapnel. Bullets currently account for 3% of the casualties here. So because of that, this is going to potentially save your life. At the downside, of course, is heat and weight.
Yeah, that's perfect. So this is the distinction between how you call it, body armor, and then a plate carrier, right?
Right.
The plate carrier is the more slimmed down version. It has a lot more openings. You have better mobility. So most people will choose, especially on assault teams, will choose to get rid of the juggernaut armor and go for the more mobile option, which, in my opinion, it's all personal preference. It's what you can feel most comfortable with. This is a Warrior Assault Systems plate carrier I've used on 2 deployments, multiple missions, and it's comfortable. It feels like another set of skin almost. So I prefer this, but because you have less protection, that's when you have to go and actually get you have to customize it a bit. Go get your soft armor. You want to explain how that works? Kind of getting...
Yeah, absolutely. So with some of the standard systems you see, they'll have, like on the side, they'll just have like a panel that you can buy, and you can link it in over the top or underneath your cummerbund. But with anything that's really manufactured in Ukraine at the moment, it'll have integrated soft armor bags into the cummerbund itself. And like with the issued one, like these are oversized just to reduce that gap between here and where your deltoid protector is. So we tend to find these as a much better solution. Also, the American stuff is rated slightly lower. NIJ 3A is not necessarily for shrapnel protection per se. It's rated to stop low caliber firearms. So using DSTU2, or the standard equivalent, is thicker, but it's going to give you slightly more protection. Downside, of course, is the mobility, the heat, the weight. It is thicker, it is a little bit heavier. And this kind of applies to the whole plate carrier setup. So everything in Ukraine for this conflict is usually manufactured here, and the designs change constantly. The same plate carrier that you maybe bought at the start of the year will have 2 iterations since then. And these constant changes and adaptations are what make the kit so good, but also means that if your base system is like proprietary and it's got individual connectors that only work with other parts from that manufacturer, once you get here, very quickly you find that you're out of options with your rig. You start having to take it to a tailor or making custom modifications to it. It can get a bit pricey and expensive. And it just adds another level of complexity, where with the Ukrainian system you can walk into any store in Ukraine and you're going to find some things that work with that.
Yeah, that's perfect. I've seen people here in Ukraine that will run like a Frankenstein plate carrier setup. There's like 6 different brands. They've got different quick releases and pouches, and that's what's comfortable for them. Cool, it works. I've seen people run straight up the standard issue for full deployment, and they like that. They're not as much of maybe a gearhead as some other guys, so they just want what is proven to work, and they'll run that. So there's a couple parts to this I want to show. So we've got this comes issued as well with your I want to call it a plate carrier all the time. How do you call it?
Ballistic vest.
Ballistic vest. Thigh/hip protection. This is soft armor as well. We've got both sides. And then you've got neck protection. And the neck protection, in my opinion, is one of the most important things that you can get here in Ukraine. I've known multiple people personally who have died to shrapnel straight to the throat. As a combat medic, there's not much you can do about that. That's one of those where you just have to watch that person go away and drift away, and it's awful. I think you'll also notice some of the most experienced people here in Ukraine who have been in a lot of different missions, have been in different teams. One piece of kit they always have is some neck protection. So I'm big on that. There's a whole bunch of different kinds. It's obviously issued with this kit here in Azov as well. Oh yeah, see this is
just another option you'd buy off the shelf in Ukraine. The idea being, you've got this around your neck. With a plate carrier, you've still got a lot of openings. So this is why it's coming around your shoulder and down your back. And this will sit very comfortably underneath. Obviously your visibility and just overall neck movement is not going to be as good. You find yourself just moving your whole body all the time as opposed to your helmet. But you can then run it very easily, just loose like this, which to be honest with you isn't too bad at all. So this is just another option. You wouldn't necessarily run this with a full ballistic vest like the issued one, but if you do go with a plate carrier, you can add this stuff on really easily. And to be honest with you, this will interlink with any half decent plate carrier system. I think this is 10,000, something like that.
Okay, yeah. That is mandatory in my opinion. Again, you could. There's a lot of people that prefer mobility, right? Until they're on their first mission or second mission, where they see how much shrapnel there is and how many times they could have been hit, and they realize I'd rather be a little bit slower or a little bit more rigid and carry more armor. This is the issued battle belt, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the issued battle belt. I personally I've never worn a battle belt. Actually, I did wear a battle belt once on a mission. I lost it about maybe an hour into the operation. The actual straps broke on me and it fell off, and I ended up leaving it there. So I've never found one that I was super comfortable with, but I am definitely the minority when it comes to this. Most soldiers out here, especially on assault teams, run battle belts. You like battle belts, right?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's the added protection, right? Obviously, with my role, it's not. Thankfully, I'm not taking anywhere near the same level of risk as someone like Vegas. But still, for me, the added shrapnel, but also it's just kind of comfy. It helps spread the weight. It takes more weight off your plate carrier, and for me, that's always a better solution.
Yeah, that's big. That's why I've tried to use them multiple times just to disperse the weight, because then if you don't, you end up having a rig like this where you've got all your shit on your plate carrier and you're walking around like this, right? And when I've got 15 like full mags on me, this is a heavy ass plate carrier. This is a heavy ass rig. But when you got something like this, you can disperse it so much more. You've got grenade pouches, you've got radio pouches, mag pouches, you name it. So love the concept. For me personally, not my style, but definitely would recommend. Plus, like Knight said, the added protection, dude, the more the soft armor you can get on your body, the better, in my opinion.
So yeah, like Vegas is saying, the benefit of the battle belt is you get a load more soft armor coverage. So this particular battle belt is from Ballistica. This is the DSTU soft armor, and the amount of coverage this is considerable. And this is all sections of your body which are going to have to be pretty exposed to shrapnel.
Yeah.
If you don't. So again, I don't think this is any fortunes. I think it's like 6,000 Rivna. But this is a benefit of using your own battle belt, because the issued one doesn't actually come with the option to add the soft armor in.
Oh, okay. Let's talk helmets and ear pro. You know more about the issued helmet. You want to cover that?
Yeah, so the issued helmet is just a pretty standard NIJ 3A helmet. I think it's a Kevlar fiberglass base.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the rating, it's the same as any other helmet in Ukraine. Every single helmet is rated to NIJ 3A. The downside though of the issued one is of course the weight for that. It's a lot thicker than maybe some of the more expensive ones. This adds added weight. Also, as stock, it doesn't always come with the suspension system that you can tighten up. So most guys will either go and buy a separate suspension system,
Yeah.
and that's around 1,000 Rivna, or you can just go more Gucci,
Yeah.
like you have.
Yeah. Helmets are so personal, right? I've had multiple like high cut fast helmets like this, and what I've learned about them is I actually prefer the lower cut, which is funny. These are cool. This is one of like the Gucci. It's called an Arc 7 or something. It's from a Danish company. I bought it here in Ukraine, the Ukra armor. It's sweet. It's lightweight, and it's it's done me well. But I like the idea of more coverage, and this is what, half.
Yeah, it's just under a full cut. I can actually show you.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so on the helmet front, you've got like a full low cut helmet. This is the standard issue British Army Cobra Revision Plus. And then you've got sort of the Azov standard issue, which is mid cut coming onto low cut, and then obviously what you see most people wearing. I mean, why do you wear this as opposed to this?
I think a lot of people struggle with their active ear pro, and with the high cut, you have a little bit more flexibility of how you can angle and move around your active ear pro, as opposed to something with low cut. It's you don't have that ability to flip them back, right, or flip them up, which is important when you're out there, because it's easier to hear drones with the naked ear typically, unless you have some really, really nice ear pro. So all the time you're doing this, you're checking, you're pulling them off, you got one on, one off. That could be an issue with the lower cut helmet, so I think that might be why.
Yeah. I did actually see a few other sort of YouTubers in Ukraine talking about this. Like the Virtus Revision helmet is, I think, one of the lightest, even though it's a low cut helmet right now. It weighs 1.1 kg. That's with the large. So
wow.
The benefit is you're still getting all this added protection, and you haven't got all the extra weight.
Yeah.
It is suspiciously thin though. So.
Suspiciously thin.
Yeah.
Holy shit! You're not joking. Yeah, that's sweet. I like that. If I end up buying another helmet, it'll be something much more similar to that. I prefer that style. I prefer the coverage.
Yeah.
I call it. And then this is the ear pro that'll come issued as well. These are Swordens. If you know anything about active ear pro, you're a shooter. Swordens are kind of your middle of the road. They're definitely not your worst quality, but you could spend hundreds, if not thousands, on some higher tech, better ear pro as well. But a lot of us actually really like the Swordens. I don't have any complaints with them. I use mine on almost every operation. I have razors, which I lost, so I ended up using the Swordens and liked them more than the razors. So
yeah, these are definitely a step above the razors. Mm-hmm. If you did want to upgrade these, if you do have the extra money, the next step up would probably be something like Peltor contacts. Just because with these, it's not as simple, and I think it's a modification to get, you have to take these apart to get like a microphone in there, an external microphone, and then to plug that into like a PTT system. I think these do work as a push talk only, but not as two-way communication.
Right.
So Peltor contacts would be the next upgrade if you did want to improve on the kit you're issued. But in terms of a functionality standpoint, these are completely fine, and they're also not cheap either. You know.
Yeah, sure, and they're easy to use. They're user friendly. So we've done a couple short videos on the standard issue rifle for your riflemen in Azov's International Battalion. It's the UAR-15, which is like the Ukrainian clone of the AR-15. I believe we ended up figuring out it's got features some Daniel Defense internals.
Yes.
Maybe a barrel or
the barrel and the bolt carrier group.
The bolt carrier group. So a couple important things, and again, if you're a shooter, you know Daniel Defense is pretty solid. Mags are pretty simple. I think most common that we see guys end up purchasing are PMags. PMags. A lot of the 40 rounders guys like to run. I mean, this is stock, right? So you can customize this the same way you can customize your AR-15 you have at home.
Yeah. So the later versions of these that are now being issued, they do have more ambidextrous controls. I know that I wasn't too much of a fan of this because I'm a lefty, and this is sort of the original one they were issuing, so it doesn't have the same controls. So I think one of the most obvious upgrades that people will be doing to the rifle is going to be charging handle.
For sure.
This one I got off Rozekta is super cheap, like a clone of the Ukrainian arms one. I think it's like 3,000. So this is 1,500 hryvnia. It's probably the cheapest ambidextrous charging handle you can get in Ukraine, but it's been absolutely fine. And it just makes the whole thing so much easier to use. That you're probably going to want to change the front end, the stock. Pistol grip, everyone seems to change the pistol grip as well. Again, it's all personal preference, and to be honest with you, standalone, all these parts aren't a lot. But if you start changing all of this and your kit and everything else, that's when the cost starts to climb. So, it's little by little, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's one thing that I found was a major improvement to my rifle was a nice flashlight, because of depending on your job that you're doing, we were looking at a bunch of boondages, bunkers, trenches that are very, very dark, even midday. So to be able to flip on a flashlight and check was literally maybe a lifesaver some of the time. So a nice flashlight, not a cheap one, a nice one with a nice beam, focused beam that can get into some of those dark corners of a trench or a bunker, crucial. And suppressors, man. Suppressors are like, I'm 50-50 about them. I've seen some that are really nice. They work great, but you don't want to be clearing a trench with a suppressor. Typically, it just makes your rifle a lot longer, but they're also good for any time you're trying to be sneaky and quiet. So I'm split on suppressors still to this day, almost 3 years in Ukraine.
I think it's a decision for after training. Because then if you're having to, and you have to really clean that rifle, and it has to be absolutely fucking perfect. Having a suppressor when you're doing training every day and you're making your gun 3 times as dirty as it needs to be, like it's another hour of sleep you don't get. So I guess wait and see. But then also I guess maybe a question for you, Vegas. If no one else in your team is running a suppressor, why would you?
What's the point, right? So some people, we notice, especially on trench assaults, you'll be firing so close to your buddy that their barrel could be pretty close to your face like this, right? And it's a lot nicer if they've got a suppressor and they're shooting past your face than just your standard muzzle brake, because that'll ring your bell. But with the suppressor, it kind of it directs that gas, directs the noise. You'll thank them for having that suppressor at that moment. So that's what I noticed. One of the benefits being, and also on any mission critical, like any stealthy mission critical ops, there's going to be suppressors that can be used, right? It's not like if you don't bring a suppressor, you won't be allowed to go on stealthy operations. There's plenty of gear and kit that can be put on your rifle if you don't have something. Cool. So, guys, we've got Woodchuck here, kind of surprise guest. He's also one of the members of Azov's International Battalion, and he's got a cool kind of kit that I've asked him to explain to you guys, some pros, cons, if you don't mind.
Yeah, totally. So I came with my own plate carrier, belt, some pouches and stuff. I already had them. A lot of us Americans have this shit already. And you never know what you're going to get here. Obviously, like some of you guys might love this stuff. Some of you guys might want to change everything out and look like these guys. So my carrier is a Velocity Systems Scarab, which I quite like. I bought it a number of years ago. It's lightweight. You can see it's not too big. The problems I've had with it, though, coming here to Ukraine, is it's a very kind of boutique plate carrier. All of the cummerbunds and attachments are very specific to that brand. So these are replacement cummerbunds by a company called Bees Combat Systems. So I could get quick release tubes, which I think are almost a given. You know, if you got to take this thing off quick if you're hit or on fire, like you want to be able to do that. But the issue with it is in the back is you have these 3 individual holes that the cummerbunds have to lace into like that. And most of your aftermarket cummerbunds that you'll buy here in Ukraine don't work that way. And so they work a lot better with sort of the myriad of carriers you can buy here in Ukraine. You also can't get cummerbunds with pockets for side armor. So my side armor here, I think I got it from Ballistica, one of these companies. Pockets and level 2, which I think in America is 3A.
Yeah.
Side armor, not terribly expensive. I think all told for the armor and the pockets was 3,000 hryvnia, which isn't much. The placard is it used to be a company called Parachuter Gear. I don't like this placard. You really want to have these quick release, magazine pouches like that, so you're not just fucking around trying to get all of your things out, and they're not retained in there. That's also an issue I've had with this being Swift clips here, and very specifically sized to this carrier. I bought another placard from, I think it was MTAC, just a Molly placard to kind of fuck around with other pouches, and I had to jerry rig it kind of together to make this fit. So those are just some other considerations. If you have a carrier you like, bring it with you. You were mentioning, like, if you're used to running a carrier for training or if you're prior to service and it just feels like another extension of your body, wear it. If you're okay with having to take some extra steps while you're here in Ukraine to make shit fit and work. Also, I came with just a shooter's belt that I got from Varusteleka from Finland. I like them a lot. These mag pouches from Varusteleka, but I've come to figure out that when you've got the more weight, I don't have a lot on this belt now, but the more weight you have on a belt, if it's just a belt like this, it's gonna start digging into your body. And if you're doing like a 15K infill, 15K exfill, like that's gonna start scratching you up. So having these big belts, I don't know if you have one.
I don't run one, but
Knight was wearing, it's the big ones with the armor. That's more like a backpacking rucksack. You've got your weight sitting on your hip bones, and that just makes you a lot more comfortable. So all just kind of considerations with your own gear. Don't overpack. A lot of people do. I made the same mistake. A lot of people want to come to Ukraine with everything but the kitchen sink.
Yes.
You can, but that's just a lot of shit you're gonna have to haul on the trains and in your hotels while you're waiting. And Ukraine produces a lot of really good gear. I mean, they've been in this war for 10 years now. It's kind of amazing looking at Azov in 2014, where they're wearing the old Flecktarn flak jackets and Pasket pots, and now they look like U.S. operators, and all of this stuff is produced in country. So just some considerations of like how difficult it's going to be to make your carriers work as you're figuring things out.
Yes, thank you. I wanted you to share, because this is a perfect example of that kind of Frankenstein kit that works so well for people who are experienced. They know they know what is comfortable for them, what's not comfortable. So appreciate that. That was a great example.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
So one of the things that I kind of wanted to mention, because I think some people forget this when they're coming to Ukraine, is having good quality combat pants and also a combat top. The issued one, I know you still wear it. You still wear it for missions, but it's like super thick. So in the summer, it just soaks up so much sweat. In the winter, sure. Same with the trousers. The trousers are just ripstop, your standard multi-cam trousers. There's nothing particularly special about them. And you'll see probably the majority of the guys wearing these, which are the MTAC. I think we'll have to post a link to these. It's like Storm Aggressor or something. But basically they've got inbuilt knee pads that are really good, and they've got a huge area of coverage. You can also easily adjust on the inside to where they sit on your knee to get them as comfortable as possible. And then on top of that, you can even go completely overkill. And they make like specialist, like this is the DSTU level 1 soft armor if you want to maximize the protection. I'm not sure.
It's cool.
I'd probably wear it with the offset, but with the weight. But still, you can really go to town on them. And there's a lot of great manufacturers in Ukraine making very, very good like karate knockoff type combat pants and things, which are a lot better than the issued options. So that's probably something I would spend my money on. And the other thing to mention as well is MTAC offers a flat 25% off for anyone who's in Azov.
Being in Ukraine for a while, I've gone through so many different kinds of uniforms and ripped my pants so many times. I always rip them right in the crotch for some reason, same spot, right at the groin, and then it just progresses all the way down to the ankle. It's awful. But these, I'm actually starting to get a rip now in these. But
right.
These MTACs have made it through an entire deployment. They have been through some shit and are still so solid. The knee pads are great because they're integrated into the pants. I've had a lot of pants that have the knee pads that'll come out of them, and they just always pop out on me. And then I'm running around with one halfway out, one is completely missing, and then I've got that rip. But so a good quality pair of pants and shirt, dude, crazy. And like Knight said, this is, I don't know why I still wear this. It's like this thick cotton and it's hot as hell. But having something that's like that polyester or something that's a lot more breathable in spring, summer will save your ass for sure. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm sure there's more that we could have covered, but this is kind of the first time making this style of video where I'm not just sitting in front of my computer screen with the webcam. So shout out to the boys for being here with me and helping out. They know a lot more about this shit than I do, so I appreciate that. And let us know in the comments if you like this style of video, if this was helpful for you. If it wasn't, I'm sure you'll let us know anyway. So that's pretty much it. Now, you got anything?
No.
Okay. Well, guys, I'll see you in the next video.